This program airs statewide on California Public Television and is a California's Gold classic. They were only about 4 feet wide, 4 feet high, and 10 feet long. But boy, did they do the trick. They came on the scene in the late 1920s and were an instant hit, especially with the do-it-yourself builders. These little trailers revolutionized the motor camping industry and became part of a whole new way of traveling the country and enjoying the outdoors. They were affectionately called teardrops, and as we discovered, they were and continue to be fine examples of California's gold. Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Huell. It's about 9:30 on a beautiful Saturday morning. We're here at Guajome Regional Park in northern San Diego County, and I'm standing at the campfire with
David Locke.
David, you invited us to come to your little outing that you're having here this weekend. Explain to everybody exactly what this is.
This is a gathering of teardrops. You see teardrop trailers behind us. They're little trailers made 4 foot wide, 4 foot high, anywhere from 8 to 10 feet long. And this is a gathering of people from all over Southern California, Arizona, Nevada. We had one person that was coming from Cheyenne, Wyoming that couldn't get out because of the snow. But we all have a common interest of the teardrops.
Teardrops, and we're cooking breakfast right out of the back of a teardrop this morning. Good morning.
Hi.
Well, now, have you got everything you need in the back of this little trailer?
Definitely. We've got water and the stove and propane, and we can cook anything you want to eat.
Because the beauty of these, Dave, come over here and explain to us this whole thing. It really is just a little teardrop.
Yeah, it's a teardrop trailer. The name teardrop came from some of them you'll see that come to a point in the back, like the one over behind us here. But they're basically designed from the 30s to the 70s, and they were to bring the American public back together post-war and pre-war type thing. And this one is a 1962 that's been totally restored, and some of them have been totally restored. You'll see some of them that are in need where they just pulled them out from underneath the tree and started using them. And we have some that are original in excellent shape. The one behind you is excellent shape.
Look at this one. Can we go over and... Howdy, is this your trailer?
No, this isn't mine.
Whose is this?
This is Norm and Ann's trailer.
Howdy.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning. Tell us about your little teardrop here. Come over here, Louie, and look at it in the back. This is amazing. You've really packed a lot into that thing.
This teardrop is really special. It's a 1937 Gypsy Caravan.
Gypsy Caravan.
It was built in Bell, California. It's had 3 owners. All 3 owners live in a little town called Crockett, California. And so we have all the history on this trailer.
Now, this is made out of...
It's a vinyl or an oilcloth.
This is wood underneath.
That's
here.
wood underneath, but see, it's pre-war, so they were short on aluminum, so they found a different way to do this one.
And look at it's got a little, can we open up the refrigerator?
That's an ice box. We've taken this to hot August nights and still had ice in it to throw away after a 3-day trip.
Now, where's the stove?
The stove is a propane stove that I use, a 2-burner propane.
And so it pulls out.
And it pulls out, and I
look
usually
at your dishes underneath here. He pulled the table up, and it's got
That's
dishes.
Where we store our extra pots and pans and lids. I have pantry area here. Very, very deep drawer, you know, to keep my towels and various other sundries. And I mean, you have everything that you need. And
now, where do you sleep?
I could show you. If you'd like.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
It's a nice size double bed. There's drawers, and if you were a young couple, there's plenty of room up above that you could have slept a child or 2.
Let's open that door again on the other side so Louie can see up there. Is it long enough to put your feet?
It's a 10-footer. This one is a little longer than most. Most you'll find are 8-footers.
Wow.
But this one is 10 feet, And it really does have the shape of the tear. If you look at this one on a long profile.
Yeah, it's got a tear, all right.
Pointy.
Boy, this is something. Now, what is this one? What is this one over here? Whose is?
To Brad and to Jackie, and I'll let you tell them about it, Brad.
So you all know everybody.
Oh, we've had a wonderful time. This all started in Shasta for us about 4 years ago.
And this group has now started.
Southern California.
Southern California group. Tell us about yours, because yours doesn't quite come out to that teardrop like the other one did.
Correct. This is a Ben Roy trailer. It was made by Bennett Peterson and Roy Greenwood back in the 50s. They started in 53 and went through till 56. They built 480 of these, sold for $420 when they were brand new.
These are California trailers.
These are California trailers built in Burbank, California.
Can we put the back down and see what it looks
Sure.
like? How hard is it to open and close these little things?
Very easy.
This is the unique part about this teardrop. Look at this.
It just
It's all
goes,
wood. It just slides in there.
boy. And it just comes. And you're ready to hit the road.
That's it. It doesn't
gone.
take any time at all.
Now, did you all have a good night's sleep in this one last night?
And for the last 5 nights.
Your legs aren't all cramped
Oh,
up
no.
from being
No.
in there? Because it looks, well, I guess there's more room.
4x8 piece of plywood, and you have 2 feet back here, and we're not over 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
So there's
Look at this,
plenty of
Louis.
room.
Here they go in there again.
When he restored this, this is the original wood, this round piece of wood here.
Right here.
Yeah. The other side he had to replace, but that was original. The cupboards inside are original. The drawers back here were original.
1956
Ben Roy teardrop.
Ben Roy. Now here is a, boy, this is a beauty. Is this yours?
Yes, it is.
Well, tell us about it. This looks like it's made out of aluminum.
Well, it's a 1950 Campmaster. They were made in Torrance, California by King's Trailer Sales. We don't know a whole heck of a lot more. We have the original sales brochure, so we do know a little bit about
the
it.
lines on this thing.
It's wood underneath and aluminum on the outside.
And look at the
Please come in and see the
back. Wait a minute, you got a door on the back of it. Come on and
No, it's upstairs. You can go upstairs on this one. It's on the
Oh,
second story.
look. You can go up inside the trailer.
Right. Lifts up, pops up for easy camping when you get there.
Now, this is a big teardrop.
This is a really big teardrop. This is much better than our old teardrop, more the traditional style.
So the teardrops really didn't have to be small. They could be big, although most of them are small.
Most of them are fairly small. This is one of the larger ones you're going to see.
Wow.
We have a
Come
couch.
here, Louie, and look at this. They've got a stove here. And if you come over here and look right through, hold the door open for Louis so he can see. You can see right on back they've got a couch.
This couch, and it lifts up and folds down like the old hideaway sofas, so that's the bed.
Wow.
Back behind there is closet space. I have all my clothes hung up.
And I'm standing up all the way up,
All the way
and
up.
my head is barely touching the ceiling, and I'm over 6 feet tall.
That's right.
And here's your sink.
Sink.
Wow, and it's a step down too. Now, do they brag a lot about the size of their trailer?
They sure do.
Do they?
They said they paid their dues. They said they used to have one of those, and now they've had those, so they paid their dues.
Oh, look, here's a little one over here. Whose is that?
That's ours.
Well, come over. Oh, good. So we got the littlest one next to the biggest one right here. Now, did you all park that way on purpose?
No, it just happened to be.
Now,
This is ours.
Look in here. Well, actually, even in this little one, there's a lot of room in there.
And we have some plans for some amenities. We're going to put a TV in with a little VCR. And,
In here?
Yeah, we've already got the cabinet for it and measured it out, so pretty soon we'll have the TV and the VCR.
And this was made back when?
1947, we have the original plate on the top of it.
Can we let it down
Sure.
so we can see that? Look at this. This
And
is
it holds $60 worth of groceries easily.
$60
$60
for.
worth of groceries we can put into our camper.
Look at this, Louie. It just opens up. This is the refrigerator right here.
Yep.
And this is this stove was built right in with it.
Right.
The original Hanson stove, and it's propane LPG gas that we have here with a small canister.
And where did you find this thing?
Well, we found this actually in the city of Whittier, and it was sitting in some person's backyard.
Really?
And we saw it through a chain link fence, and we went over there and made an offer on it, and now it's ours.
Did these stickers come with it, or?
These are the stickers of the people that I bought it from, and then mine are over on the far side because I've only had it a couple years.
So these are original stickers from Mount Rainier, Yellowstone, Jackson Hole, Yosemite, Lewis and Clark Cavern, Death Valley, Big Sur. These are the places this little teardrop went in its first life.
That's right. Now it's on its second life, and it's enjoying it very much.
Now this has a wonderful look to it. This is great. This is like, this whole thing here is like stepping back in time. Tell us the motif that you're establishing here.
Well, he's the one who's in charge of the motif.
This is your motif.
Yeah, we've been camping since I was a little kid, and I always liked the look of the older things, so we found this little trailer out at the Pomona Swap Meet over in just sitting there all by itself, and I said, I gotta have it or I'll hate myself the rest of my life.
Now, was it in that condition? Close that door first. Let's see what this looks like. Man, that has almost a 30s kind of a modern look to it.
Yeah, it's
Art Deco kind of. I'm not sure what this is.
It's a 49 Streamliner. Streamliner
1949?
49. Streamliner was the company, and the Aero Chief is this model. This was actually the largest trailer that the company made.
Look at this. It's got the Chief right on the side with the wonderful red.
The other two models they made, the second smaller one was the Aero Maiden, and the smallest one was called the Papoose.
Really?
So they made a whole little family of these things.
Now this is an old one.
Right.
Are they still making them, or do you have to build new ones if you?
No, what you can find the originals. They're still out there. In fewer and fewer numbers, as you can tell, people are, I mean, they're scouring backyards.
Well, we know what there is out. I mean, everybody's looking for them now.
Right, and there are about 7 or 8 manufacturers today that are custom building trailers, and they're all backyard builders. Hardly anybody has a full-scale shop tooled up to build these things because there just doesn't seem to be enough demand for them. It's a very, very, special market. And
but this may be starting a new trend. This may be starting.
Well, I hope that's true in one respect. Yes.
Now this is. What are we doing? We're sitting around comparing notes.
Yeah, you're darn right. So we're comparing ours against somebody else's. Yeah.
So where's yours?
What we did. Oh, it's up on the hill right there.
And what do you see down here that you like?
Well, she has one identical to it that they're restoring now. So she's trying to get some ideas on how to do it.
Yeah, I see. So there's a lot of this swapping of information going on.
Yes, sir, there sure is.
How hard is it to restore one of these things?
I worked on mine for over a year. It
Really?
was nothing but a pile of aluminum and a frame. The wood was totally dry rotted, so it's been put back together, everything in it. Yeah.
Where'd you see it, spot it the first
A friend
time?
of mine found it up in Hemet, sitting in a guy's yard. He had drug it down on a trailer from Seattle. It belonged to his grandfather.
And you saw the potential.
Oh, yeah. He wouldn't sell it to anybody because everybody wanted to modify it, and I told him I wanted to restore it, so he sold it to me because if you're going to restore it, I'll sell it to you. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the idea is to bring it back exactly the way it was.
Yes, I think that's really important. I think, especially for the younger people, they don't realize what they've missed because they've never been introduced to it, and we're hoping to bring this back to them.
Oh, you've got a great little trailer here. Tell us about it.
Well, my wife and I bought this about 3 years ago, and it set up in the snow for several years and got all deteriorated. So I put my wife to work as a carpenter.
Wait a minute, he put you to work.
Yes, I'm afraid so.
So you redid this thing.
Well, we both did. I had the curtains made in 2 cat material. We like cats. A friend of mine, Wanda, made me the little cat quilt.
Look in here, Louie. We've got a whole cat motif going
right.
in here. This is a great little...
So.
Can I get in here?
You sure can. Duck your head.
Come on in here with me. Sit down here and talk to me.
I haven't been with a strange man in a long time.
Here we go.
Yeah.
We're in the trailer.
Yeah.
Now it is cozy in
You
here.
better believe it. You have to love your husband to be in here.
Were trailer parks big back in California in the...
Well, ever since the whole Dust Bowl period, when people started moving out to California, at first they were just a means of transportation to get here from there. And a lot of the teardrops, the originals, didn't actually have a top structure. They had tent poles and they would throw canvas over it for a place to sleep in while they were on the road. But after that, it just, they used to call people trailer rides that would travel around.
Call them what?
Trailer rides. They used to
Trailer
call
rides?
Yeah, that's what we would have been known as back then.
Is that what you all are?
I guess so.
I guess so.
But they travel the country going from park to park, especially with people who had different jobs that required them to move around quite a bit. They just pick up the trailer and move to another trailer park. They all had full hookups. They were like little communities, had parks.
But they wouldn't have been in these little teardrops, would they?
No, they would have had the larger trailers.
Yeah.
The teardrops kind of just sprung out of a little, maybe what we'd call today a cult following of the ones that actually came out to California originally.
Now, talking about the ultimate California experience right here.
Yes, sir. We're out camping. We're enjoying ourselves. There's no wildlife anywhere in San Diego County, so we brought our own.
Well, tell me about your teardrop and your car, because this is quite a combination here.
1947 Kinskill. We've owned it and camped in it for the past 20 years.
Really?
My wife and I enjoy it. She's cooked many a meal back there. We've traveled, back in '89, we traveled 7,000 miles across the United States and back across Canada.
So this isn't just a showpiece. This,
No, sir.
This is functional.
This is for makeup. This is my wife's makeup case.
Boy, this has a nice look to it here, but you've got something over here that I think tops the cake here today. You have really set a mood here.
Right.
A
This
stage.
is the way it was. This was motoring, and this is a 42 car, and this is a 1948 Kinskill trailer. This would be a gentleman traveling from back east out to California. With
Now
his
look,
family.
you've got your desert water bag.
Desert water bag.
They actually had those.
You used them all the time. If you did cross the desert, you needed that because the older cars didn't have pressurized radiators, so water would boil at 210 and it would come out of the radiator, so you would have to put more water in it. So
you
everywhere
got the water bag.
There was a water bag. You stop and fill the radiator and the water bag. This is a swamp cooler. This is cools the air, goes inside of here. There's a string inside, and this turns a burlap sack inside, and you get more water inside.
Look
so
at
as the air
this.
comes through the air, you get water, and you have a basic swamp cooler for the inside of the car.
Early air conditioning.
And Vegas, these rented for about $1 a day rental.
You got your luggage up on the
Luggage and
top,
the roof rack,
your fishing pole,
fishing poles,
and
the Kinskill, the infamous trailer why we're all here.
Now, what do you mean the infamous trailer?
Well, these have told a lot of stories. A lot of people see these things and they go back to their childhood right away.
Yeah.
A lot of people of our age did some camping in these. These were quite renters. They rented these out a lot along the beach areas.
These are just as basic as they get.
Basic as they get. Just primitive lifestyle.
Made out of aluminum.
This aluminum siding.
It's got a wonderful look to it.
It's all original look.
So this is original.
This is all original trailer here. I bought this from a neighbor about 2 blocks away from my house. Never knew he had it until we ran across a friend. And as soon as I bought the car, I knew I wanted a trailer to go with it. So here I am.
So is this what we would have seen in a state park or a national park and a campground in the 40s?
Campgrounds, right. This is probably in the 40s, early 50s. You would see this era of stuff right here.
They would have packed up the family in the car.
Packed up the family in the car, threw everything on top, and away you go.
The fishermen and the hunters are originally what started these. Then they wanted, in the 30s, they went to a little bit bigger because they wanted for families, and the woman got into the play. Then in the 40s, they had all these leftover aluminum skins from
Like
the
this
airplane.
one down here.
Yes. And so all this had to be put to use, use things. And so they made them out of the aluminum skins. And that's why we have aluminum.
And they really basically made them themselves, didn't they?
Right. In the September of 1947 Mechanics Illustrated magazine, they had this article. And this was to show you how to build a teardrop. And most people did them home built. There weren't a lot of businesses that made them. And they were very detailed about the way they gave you instructions to do it.
So you could buy plans, buy materials.
You bought a magazine, you had the plans.
And
That's
build your own teardrop.
Right, precisely.
So that's what these signs mean on some of these
They
that
say
say
home built.
Home built.
Yeah.
They really were built at home.
They were somebody's imagination. They looked at a basic plan and they said, I can do that. And they gave them an opportunity to flourish in their own given talents. So that's how they all grew with these different personalities. There's not a one here, out of the 62 here, there is not a one of them alike. Every one of them have a different personality, and we love it. We just love it.
Now here comes one. What's the story on this one?
Well, that's a good question, but I can tell you. This is part of the intrigue. This is part of the mystery of teardropping in general. Is we don't know the entire history, and people show up with a trailer like this. Now we got to figure out, was it made by a manufacturer? Was it built from a set of plans? Quite often the owner wants to know the same thing. He just has
this one looks
cool.
old.
There you go. You got a 1957 trailer license plate on the dock.
1951.
51. Excuse me. Well,
oh my gosh! Let's go over and ask him. What's the story? What's the story on your teardrop?
Well, it's a 1946, what they call a special construction. It doesn't actually have a manufacturer. Somebody made it in 46, and it had about 20 coats of paint on it. And
we're still working on it.
We're still working on it, and it's getting there.
Well, you're causing quite a stir driving in here this morning. Everybody wants to know about it.
Well, we bought it up in Anza, California for $300. My son was, we went in to get a soda pop, and he said, Dad, there's a teardrop for sale on the bulletin board. So we went over there and bought it.
Well, drive on by here. Let's see that thing go down the road.
All right.
It looks good. Look at that old teardrop. Now that's the way they would have looked pulling into a campground back in the 30s or 40s
well,
or 50s.
We certainly hope that they were in a little better condition when they were relatively new, but you know, that's part of the appeal, you know.
These were made to function in what era in American camping life? What were they made for?
Well, they were made for getting out and enjoying America. Now, we've traced the history as far back as 1934. So we're assuming from ads in magazines and things like that they appeared in the very early 30s, maybe as early as 1932. But it was after the war, after World War II, and the GIs returning from Europe and Japan with wanderlust and the better roads and the better cars and things like that, somebody in corporate America came up with the idea that we could capitalize on on getting these GIs out and things like that.
So these were made as a cheap, inexpensive, accessible way to get out and see America.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, that's it. That's our visit to the Teardrop trailer. What is this thing called? Jamboree, Camporee?
Southern California Touring Tears Gathering.
A gathering. And boy, we have had a lot of fun. These old teardrops have been part of Americana since the 1930s, and they are definitely back in the 90s. And we have had a wonderful day. I hope you have learned as much as I have about these wonderful old teardrop trailers. Everybody having a good time today? Yeah. All right, let's wave goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye from the teardroppers.
Meet again. Bye.
Well, it's a classic, all right, and if you'd like to see this California's Gold adventure again, share it with your family and friends, or perhaps donate a copy to your local school or library. It's available on DVD. It's also on another very special DVD containing 10 of your all-time California's Gold favorites. To order, all you have to do is call 1-800-266-5727, and we'll be glad to send it to you right away.